All right, so I want to go back to this picture and I want to talk about what God's done in the Simikai house at Ole Miss. So go back to 1995, the fall. Meg and I were at Ole Miss, and a guy named Bo Pennebaker, the guy in the red shirt right there, he had pledged. And another one of his good buddies, Lee Laird, would also be a faithful guy just to the right of Bo right there. He would go to Romania. And then Clint McCullough in the top next to the far right there, he really became a leader in the Simikai house. But Bo started a Bible study, and he will tell you that he only had one guy at his Bible study for a while, and his name's David Robbins on the top right there. But David ended up surrendering his life to Christ and really took off and is still on staff with Cru to this day. Clint McCullough really became a solid leader in the house. He's the top middle guy, and he lived in the fraternity house several years just to have a ministry in that house. And then Jody Smeltzer on the left came to know the Lord through our ministry also in that fraternity house. And I at one point, I know we had over 40 Simikais go to one of our Christmas conference, and it was really because of those guys being such great leaders. Now, Clint in the top middle was hanging out with Kevin Shoemaker, who was really wild at the time on the bottom right. And he asked Kevin one day just something so simple. It just shows you how God can use you if you're faithful. He just said something like, "Hey, Kevin, when are you going to step up? When are you going to surrender yourself to the Lord?" And Kevin was so challenged and overwhelmed by Clint being so direct that Kevin ended up coming to know the Lord and coming on staff with Cru. And he is now currently leading a ministry at Mississippi State. He's been in the ministry for a while, but that's a picture of me doing he and his wife's wedding. Okay, so David went on to disciple a lot of these guys. One of them, all of them have been faithful guys, faithful in the ministry there at Simikai House. The top left guy, Scott Marshall, he became pledge trainer, and he was able to really allow Cru and guys to come in and really share their faith with the pledges. And because of David also, he became pledge trainer just so he could have a ministry in the Simikai House. Both these guys, Will and Brewdog is what we called him, these guys were really faithful to lead the ministry in the Simikai House. All right, so we used to have a Bible study in this guy named Wesley's house. I'll go to Wesley's room. No, we'll go back to Wesley in a minute. But we had a Bible study, and this guy named Bentley that's in the middle there, he would never come to the Bible study, even though it was in his room. But Wesley ended up leading him to Christ, and he ended up going to ministry. The guy on the left went in the ministry too as well, and the guy on the right now, Joel Hurdle, has come back to Ole Miss to lead the ministry at Ole Miss and is helping provide leadership with Simikai. But these guys were all faithful Simikais. Michael Cornett is here giving his testimony at the co-ed Bible study we did with the Coyotes. And we tried to share Christ with every pledge that would come to these studies, and a lot of these actives would help us follow up the pledges. That particular day, we saw a pledge come to know Christ, and that's a picture of me following up the pledge after he indicated a decision. All right, there's Wesley, who led Wintley. Wesley's on the right. He led Bentley to Christ. Those are just two of the faithful guys, and really it's just gone on and on. I need to add more photos and update it, but man, we've been so blessed to see what the Lord has done in the Simikai house at Ole Miss over the years.